Wow, Fox. This is so good. Seriously, this is your first poem? Huh? It's not that good, jeez. Seriously, it is. I love it. I had no idea you were such a good poet. Sari, I think you're overreacting a bit. It's really nothing special. Trust me, it is. How did you write it, though? Huh? What do you mean? Like, what did you think of while you wrote this? This is gonna sound a bit weird, but I thought of you? She gives me a brief look of disbelief, a faint blush on her cheeks. Me? Yeah, hey, not in like a weird way or anything. Just thought of words that reminded me of you and went along with that. Just felt kind of natural doing it that way, I guess. Well, if it works, it works. Looks like the club really is the best place for you. Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Sarah. Good to know I'm not totally in over my head here. She looks at me for a moment, not saying anything. There's a few moments of an odd silence. Earth to Sayori. She jumps slightly. Sorry. I'm just not used to seeing you around again, that's all. To have you in the club, writing poems. It's lovely, though. It just takes a little getting used to. Yeah, that's understandable. I'm a bit surprised myself, to be honest. But I'm enjoying it here so far. That's good to hear. Do you want to read my poem now? I'm not very good, though. Only one way to find out. No, I don't remember. Yeah, that's the same fucking poem that she wrote in the original game. Okay. The way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Or are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? Just making sure that I read that right. I look above. The sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever. But I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Dear Sunshine by Sayori. Well, what did you think? I hesitate as I answer. It's not that it was a bad poem. In fact, it was great. I'm just really inexperienced with poetry, especially feedback. It's really you. What's that supposed to mean? As in the poem just, I don't know, really reminds me of you. It made me feel really good inside. Really? Yeah, I had no idea what to expect, as this was my first time reading your poetry. But the way this was written, I don't know, it feels really wholesome and cheery. Like you are. I also really like the last line. Trust you of all people to include breakfast in their poems. Hey, I was eating when I wrote. Sari stopped speaking immediately as if she accidentally let something slip. Oh, so you wrote the poem this morning. No. Well, maybe. I forgot to write it last night. Well, at least we know where your inspiration comes from. Eggs and toast. Well, I suppose if it sounds silly but it works, then it isn't silly. Either way, thanks for showing me your poem, Sari. It was really good. I'm happy you think so. Anyways, next time I won't forget. Tomorrow's poem will be even better. I'm gonna hold you to that. Alright, next on the list, we're just gonna go straight down from top to bottom here. Well, it's about what I expected from someone like you. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? What I mean is that it's just kinda average. Doesn't really evoke any emotions. So kinda bland for your tastes. Natsuki furrows her eyebrows at me. My tastes? What's that supposed to mean, huh? Nothing. Well, anyway, I guess I'll show you my poem now. Not that you'll like it or anything. I feel like this is different. I don't remember this one. Alright, some folks are winners, some only lose. Some are go-getters, some only cruise. Sometimes we try hard and give it our all. Sometimes we give up. What else can we do? Sometimes. Told you you'd hate it. Actually, I like it. What? Don't just say it's good because I'm a girl. Be honest. What? No, it has nothing to do with you being a girl whatsoever. I just genuinely like the poem. Really? Yeah, it's simple, but still pretty effective. Finally, somebody who gets it. People in high school think poetry has to be so formal and vague, but they don't realize that simple writing is just as effective, if not more. The reader shouldn't have to search for the meaning, that's just stupid. Besides, the simpler the writing, the more emphasis on wordplay. Like how I made the most of the lines start with some. Yeah, I noticed that. Made the last couplet seem more powerful or something. Yes, that's exactly what I was going for. Well, good job then. Huh, didn't expect that from the youngest of the club, did you? I guess not. And now on to Yuri, where you can see their distinct differences. Yuri stares at the poem, and she just turns it upside down like she's trying to decode, like, the fucking... I don't know, trying to find the location of the Holy Grail. A minute passes, more than enough time to fuck me in the ass. I hit enter again. More than enough time for her to finish reading. Okay. Is everything alright? Oh, goodness, sorry. I know what I want to convey, but I need to find the right words. I understand. Take your time. Okay. I think I know what I want to say. Do you have any prior writing experience? To be honest, not really. Is it that obvious? I don't mean to be rude, but I guess that it might be after reading through it. Ah, so it's that bad. No! Did I just raise my voice? I'm so sorry. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I couldn't help but notice it's been several minutes and we really haven't gotten anywhere. Yuri seems to be incredibly introverted. It must take her a long time to warm up to new people. Don't worry about it. We all start somewhere, right? What were you saying? Right, I just noticed a few qualities consistent with newer writers that showed up in your poem. And now we have a plane overhead. Perhaps what stands out the most is that you've tried very hard to make the structure of this poem your own. And that's okay, but if this is the first poem you've written, it might be prudent to consider more traditional structures, couplets, sonnets, haiku, and the like. If you're not confident in your writing style, it will show in your piece. It's like Yuri is a totally different person when she gets going. She sounds incredibly confident and stands tall, speaking clearly. Again, that's not your fault. I think that once you've studied poetic structures and techniques a bit more, you'll be able to put together a truly wonderful composition. I appreciate the feedback, Yuri. Sounds like you're well versed in this sort of thing. Would it be okay if I take a look at what you've written? Oh, goodness, of course. Please let me know what you think. I'd be thrilled to explain my process. Yuri smiles dreamily as if that's a rare opportunity for her. She's giving me some Double D vibes when she explains shit, and I love it. 10 points Gryffindor for anybody else who really fucking loved that show when they were younger. I imagine that there are some other people in their 20s, aside from me, that are on this channel. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Okay. I also think this is a new one, too. But we'll read it anyway. This is Tumble by Yuri. Oh, I gotta scroll with the scroll wheel. God damn it. Oh, that's awful. That's unfortunate. Alright. Hail falls down like discarded dust of overused emotions, dragging down blankets made of want. Slender string pierces my eyelids. Ugh, that wasn't expected. Barely painful and pulls them shut. Even so heavy, ever so heavy. Oh, god damn it, it's just ever so heavy. Twice. Fucking cursive! I think I've misplaced something. Is there a piece missing? You need all the pieces to fix something. Please don't look for it. There are more important things for you to do today. Okay. Again, not really. I went over this in my Doki Doki playthrough with things. I'm a bit of a Jackson Pollocker myself when it comes to artistic expression. I'm definitely an expressionist. Just it's a drawing of a bird. You know what I mean? Like, you don't look at the grass and you have to try to come up with a meaning for why the grass is there. It's just a drawing of grass. Like, that's an actual, like, quote, essentially. You don't look at a basket or, like, a thing of flowers and try to pull together a meaning. Like, that's what my point is that I'm trying to say. That's just how I am personally with things. I prefer things to be simple. But it is nice to get the brain moving and kind of just think about this kind of stuff. I just don't do very well with free-range thought. And I wind up just pulling myself in circles. I just don't get it, is the best way that I can explain it. Just my brain doesn't get it. I'm sorry if my writing's a bit ineligible. Illegible. Once my pen touches the page, I just want to get my thoughts down. It's fine, Yuri. I was able to read it just fine. I wasn't thinking that at all, actually. Are you sure? It seemed to take you a while to read it. Well, I guess I don't see cursive often. But it's really nice when I do. Your writing's actually quite pretty. Is that so? I'm glad you think so. It made your poem stand out even more as well. It's as though your handwriting fits your word choice, or vice versa. It wasn't too short, was it? I'm used to writing longer pieces, but since this is the first time we're sharing, I thought it would be easier to share. That makes sense. Do you mind telling me what it's about, though? I'm not sure I quite understand. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to write something confusing. It's not that, I just want to be sure I'm reading it properly is all. Oh, I see. I suppose from a cursory glance, it might not be obvious, but part of what makes poetry magical is how you can conjure up a vivid image with your words. While on the surface, it might seem a bit out there, if you look a little deeper, you might be able to find a deeper meaning hidden amongst the lines compounded by the metaphors used. For example, the words and images in this poem aren't meant to be taken at face value. In actuality, it's supposed to represent the last remnants of something lost to the past, and the sense of plaintive longing that comes along with it. Huh. That's pretty impressive when you put it that way. Oh, I wouldn't go that far. But thanks for the compliment. Hopefully during your time here, your understanding of poetry will grow and these things will come to you naturally. I'll do my best. Thank you for sharing with me, Yuri. Of course. And now on to Monica. Just Monica, baby. Hi, Fox. Hope you've been enjoying your time here. Yeah, definitely. I probably sound like a broken record by now, but everyone's been really welcoming. Well, a broken record isn't so bad when it plays something so nice. I guess so. Anyway, since you're new and everything, feel free to bring up any questions or concerns you might have. It's my duty as president to make sure that everything is perfect. I'd have to say that you've been doing a good job of that already. I doubt that I'll ever have anything to complain about. Either way, I'm always open to new suggestions for the club as well. So don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I will keep that in mind. She says that, but it's going to be a bit intimidating to try to criticize Monica, of all people. I really don't think that there's going to be anything I'll need to speak up about either. One of the other girls would probably say something before I ever needed to. Natsuki definitely would. Now that that's out of the way, I feel like sharing your poem with me. I mean, I don't really have a choice in the matter, do I? You shouldn't be thinking like that. I know, I was just kidding. Kind of. It's alright, Fox. I get that it's probably really awkward for you to share creative work when you're just a beginner. Especially since the rest of us have a bit more experience than you do. It's an understatement. Don't worry, though. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? I don't think many people out there share their poetry on a regular basis. But it's the sort of thing that you get used to pretty quickly once you get it over with. Yeah, that's true. I hand my poem over with a sigh. Don't grade me too harshly. That's another point, too, that I remember making in my actual Doki Doki playthrough as well. I'm one of those types of people where when I'm on the spot, I am nervous up until I'm on the spot. Then once I'm on the spot, I'm good to go. It's just something that has persisted since when I was, like, part of an orchestra and everything else, so I never really had stage fright. Getting up there, I'm apprehensive as fuck, but, like, once I just shut up and start, then I kind of just hit a trance, and that's it. I don't get stage fright once that happens, so, I don't know. It's a weird state of mind, man. You'll be fine. There we go. More coffee. Now we can finish this. I watch nervously as she quickly scans through my poem. Interesting poem, Fox. It has a very mellow yet emotional feel to it. I didn't know that you were this in tune with your feelings, Fox. I can feel my cheeks growing hot at her teasing. You think? No need to feel so embarrassed about this. Poetry is a very personal thing, so it's not surprising to see you putting your raw emotions down on paper. Actually, your poem reminds me... Yeah, that is slightly misspelled right there, but that's fine. Your poem reminds me of something Sayori would write. Really? How so? I mean, you and Sayori are really good friends, right? It shouldn't be too far-fetched for you two to write similarly. Yeah, well, I guess you could say we used to be good friends, at least. We kind of drifted apart over the years, so I guess it surprises me that we could still have things like this in common. This club is the perfect opportunity to become closer again, then, don't you think? I guess so. Anyway, much like yours, Sayori's writing tends to have a gentle feel to it. She often uses her words to quietly meander through her imagination and to explore different emotions. Most of the time, I find that she addresses happiness and sadness in equal amounts, creating a bittersweet tone. Wow, that's kind of unexpected of her. Maybe she's changed more than I thought throughout the years. I know, right? Who knew that someone so happy would enjoy the pain of tragedy as well? You know, sometimes you sound like Yuri when you talk about poetry. Really? Yeah, I guess you really like it, huh? You could say that. That was a new sprite, I believe, too. It'd really make me happy if you could get into poetry as well. No pressure, right? For real, though, feel free to explore different things and experiment. Maybe you'll find yourself writing in a way you never thought that you would have. Just like Sayori does. Yeah, I'm sure I'll end up doing a lot of different things before I settle on my own style. And it'll take a while before I'm completely comfortable sharing my writing. That's perfectly fine. In fact, I'd probably be more surprised if you immediately started writing with your own style. Most people go through the same process that you're going through right now. Trying new things is the best way to find the kind of style that suits you, after all. Anyway, when you talk to everyone about it, naturally they'll be a bit biased towards their own kinds of styles. After all, I know I am. But don't force yourself to write in some way just because someone else wants you to. You should try to focus on what you want to do. Feel free to ask me for help anytime, though. I try to be as objective as possible when I talk to people about these topics. Thanks. I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? I find that rather ironic, too, that she's, like, trying not to write a poem that somebody else would like. Yeah, I wonder. I wonder why she said that. Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. Doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? Always on duty as club president, eh? Well, let's get reading then. Alrighty. So, let's see what this one is now. This is The Box by Monica. I see, but I don't believe. A lone fingerprint glistening on gleaming glass. Was it me? Was I always the one in the dark? I pound on the glass, my prison. Why? Why me? The pain jolts me back, the understanding pouring down like heavy rain. It's all a farce. My heart's on display, my life's but a script just playing away. The world out there had seemed so bright. It was so free. So many choices, so much potential. Maybe I could have had a chance. I realize now that there never was a choice. I was stuck in this box, and they on the other side chose for me. So, this is a slight modification, I believe, of Monica's extremely meta first poem, I believe? Because I believe this is a modification of that last line right there. I believe it's supposed to be where I was looking out and they, in fact, were looking in at me or something. Something of that sort. Meanwhile, instead, this is they chose for me. So I think this is a modification of one of Monica's poems. I'm not 100% on that, though. So, what do you think? I don't quite know how to say it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. I definitely get a certain kind of feeling from reading your poem, but I'm not sure how to put it into words. I can understand that. Just try to articulate it however you want. You can use metaphors outside of poetry, you know. Well, when you put it like that, I don't know, I'd say that your poem is kind of abstract. Very vague, at least. Like, I can't quite tell what exactly you're talking about, but even so, I can feel what the speaker's feeling. Yeah, I think that about describes my poem pretty well. Yeah, really? I do like my metaphors. Well, you'd probably be pretty hard-pressed to find a poem without a metaphor, actually. Yeah, they're pretty well covered in English class, at least. The ability to convey emotions and concepts through words describing things even the writer might never have experienced before. I find that really powerful. When you write metaphorically, it allows the reader to focus on the emotions in the poem. I guess it kind of opens it up for the reader to have their own interpretations. Exactly. It's fascinating when people can diverge from the creator's original intent to find their own meaning in the work of art. Yeah. What was your original intent, then? I think it'd be more fun if you tried to figure it out yourself. Yeah? That just makes me more curious now. Maybe I'll tell you one day. But for now, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem, or anything for that matter, you get too fixated on a specific point. But if you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. So the best thing to do is just to force yourself to get something down on the paper and then tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is, if you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and write whatever's in your heart. Easier said than done. I get what she's trying to say, though. It's better to look back on your work with fresh eyes after you've gotten something down sometimes. And again, I remember commenting on this in the Let's Play as well. That is a very good fucking point with anything artistic, I assure you all. I do that with drawing a lot. I try so hard to perfect one line before I put the rest of the fucking character on the paper that it just kind of ruins the paper that I'm trying to draw into on my sketch pad, and it's not fun because I erase it 9 billion times. But yeah, that's a good way to go about life. That's even something that I was trying to keep for a mindset with a song that I was writing, which I may share with you guys very soon, by the way, because it's coming together quite well, and I'm really appreciating the cover. But yeah, that'll be when time allows it, so let's move on. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening.